You see the water's crystal clear. We'll take a cooler full of beer and toss our poles to the side, raise our cans real high. Thank God that we're here. Whoa, whoa, cheers.
At this point in our journey, we headed back into the White Mountains from Acadia National Park to make the journey up Mount Washington. We could not have picked a better day for this particular adventure, given the blue skies and warm temperatures. This was a much welcome change in weather given all the rain we had previously encountered. The drive out to Mount Washington was a nice change of scenery. The wet, cloudy, and overcast skies we endured for the past week had given way to popping fall foliage color by now. As we neared the base of Mount Washington, we made a quick stop to pay the $31 fee to drive up the auto road and visit the observatory on the summit. This impressive road has a lot of interesting facts and history and just about as much beauty, if not more. Road construction began in 1854 and was completed 7 years later in 1861, at which time it was open to the public during the horse and buggy days. Until that time, it had been impossible to reach the summit except by foot or horseback. After its opening to the public, specially designed 6-horse, 12-passenger mountain wagons were the preferred mode of transportation to reach the summit. The first automobile ascent was made in 1899 by F.O. Stanley and his famous steamer, but cars were only allowed up by special arrangement until 1911. The road was entirely constructed by hand tools, horses, oxen, and old-fashioned dynamite. It had been widened and otherwise improved over the years, but one of the most impressive facts about this place is that the road follows the same course that was laid out over 150 years ago, which still remains the most direct and easiest driving route according to modern-day land surveying equipment and technology. The road is 7.6 miles long, boasts an impressive 4,725 vertical foot ascent, averages 12% grade, and takes about 20 to 30 minutes to reach the top by car, depending on how many stops you make, given there are tons of pullouts for photo ops and to let your engine cool down if necessary. In 2017, Travis Pastrana set the auto road climbing record by automobile, reaching the summit in just 5 minutes and 44 seconds. Given the fact that about 60% of the time the summit is in the clouds, we were extremely pleased to be able to enjoy this mountain and all the beauty that surrounds it without any obstruction to visibility. We spent nearly 2 hours at the summit taking it all in and snapping photos. We had to wait in line to snap a shot of the family at the famous summit sign post too. The observatory and museum is another impressive building given the harsh weather conditions. The peak of Mount Washington sits at only 6,288 foot elevation, but Mother Nature tests the grit of this place most of the time. Average annual temperature is only 27.3 degrees Fahrenheit. Lowest recorded temp is -47, highest 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Average annual wind speed sits at 35 miles per hour, but wind speeds exceed hurricane force about 104 days out of the year. And if you didn't already know, the world's fastest known and validated wind speed was recorded here in 1934, clocking a whopping 231 miles per hour. There are other means of ascending the summit, of course: the Cog Railway, which is a 3-hour round-trip ride, and by foot, which many people hike yearly as part of the Appalachian Trail. Today, nearly 4 million people have visited the summit of the Northeast's highest peak since its opening. What do we have to say about this place? Well, simply put, it was amazing and one of the biggest highlights of our Northeast journey. As if the photos aren't enough, we even got the bumper sticker to prove we were once at the top of Mount Washington.
Later on, the clouds rolled in and we found a campsite on Overlander at Elbow Pond, nestled in the White Mountains. We weren't the only ones who found this spot, however. We pulled up initially disappointed to find 2 other trucks already occupying campsites, but as luck would have it, we were welcomed with open arms to join them for the night. This was the first and only primitive campsite we had to share during our journey, which turned out to be another highlight of the trip. We cooked a good old-fashioned iron skillet and Dutch oven dinner over the campfire and shared stories with strangers that became friends.
The next morning, we headed back into Vermont towards our final destination of the trip. Along the way, we made several stops to play and explore. We found a few of the many covered bridges that Vermont has to offer. Kurt even insisted we make an impromptu stop along the way at a local farm for a glass of fresh raw milk and ice cream.
Mama! Mama! Mama!
Logan, what is it, baby?
Mama,
What do you think about that, Luke?
good.
How good?
Good at the tailgate.
Good as a tailgate.
After all our play, we found ourselves racing against the clock to find camp before sundown and ended up at Smuggler's Notch Campground with the last remaining spot available. Being that this was peak leaf season, all other surrounding areas were full and we did not have reservations anywhere. We made our final dinner in the Dutch oven and turned in for the night. The next morning we found Smuggler's Notch Mountain Pass, once known for its illegal trading route with Canada and escape route to Canada for slaves. This scenic and narrow paved route is now a highly trafficked area for tourists and photographers alike for its natural beauty and humongous boulders the size of trucks. This concluded our jam-packed list of destinations. Some were last-minute decisions and others had been planned. As we made the long trek home from Vermont to East Tennessee, we couldn't help but to think of what our next journey would be. In all, we traveled exactly 3,200 miles in the Tacoma. We made lasting memories and grew closer as a family, things you just can't put a price tag on. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed these adventures, please subscribe.
Yeah, you wanna relay $40 you can buy all your friends something that they will like, a pack of Darrells and a brand new Benz. Dreamin', I'm dreamin' away. Dreaming away, away. Oh, yeah, you wanna dream on. Yeah, you wanna dream on our love. Now we're sitting by your side. I